Hello, my friend. There's a pattern that quietly damages relationships, reputation, and trust, and people often don't notice it until it's too late. It's called oversharing. Not sharing your feelings, not being honest. Oversharing is different. It's sharing intimate details with people who didn't ask, aren't ready, or simply haven't earned that level of access to you yet. And the painful part is this: you think you're creating closeness, but you may be creating distance. In this video, I'll show you how oversharing shows up at work, in relationships, in social settings, and on social media, and how to stop it without becoming cold, because you can be open and still have boundaries. Let's begin. Many people say, "I'm just expressing myself, I'm just venting." But here's the difference. Before you share something deeply personal, ask 3 questions. Did they ask for this? Are they emotionally ready to hold it? Have we built enough trust for this level of detail? Most people have maybe 1 or 2 people in life who can truly hold the deepest parts of them with care. But oversharing happens when you open your whole life to people you barely know. Imagine meeting someone for 30 minutes and suddenly they know your salary, your debts, your trauma history, your private life. The other person might feel shocked, not because you're bad, but because the relationship didn't walk there naturally. And when you skip levels too fast, it can damage trust. Let's start with work. You join a new job. You don't even know where the tea room is yet, but you sit with someone you just met and start sharing negative experiences from your past job. Conflicts, problems, personal struggles. You think you're being honest, but you don't know why that person is listening. Some people collect information, some people repeat things, and in certain environments, oversharing can cost you opportunities. Also, be careful with emotional reactions at work. Sometimes people will test you with small prompts. So the manager is difficult, right? And if you jump in too quickly and say something you can't take back, you may create problems for yourself. Workplaces can be friendly, but they are still structured around goals, roles, and incentives. Now, relationships. Oversharing is one of the fastest ways to create pressure early. You go on a first or second date, and suddenly you're sharing your deepest wounds, family trauma, or painful past relationships. Some people don't know how to handle that. They might feel responsible, or overwhelmed, or emotionally unprepared. That doesn't mean you should hide forever. It means you should build depth layer by layer. And in social settings, oversharing can go in 2 opposite directions. Some people share too much struggle, money problems, debt, personal crises, too soon, too publicly. Others share too much status, cars, brands, income, who they know, where they travel. Both are often attempts to feel safe, accepted, respected. But paradoxically, it can create the opposite impression: insecurity and a need for validation. Social media is where oversharing becomes automatic. Emotional highs, emotional lows, arguments with family, relationship conflict. A vague quote that everyone knows is directed at someone. You post while you're in the heat of emotion, and later you regret it. Then a few days later you post happy photos again, and people read it as instability. The issue isn't that you had feelings, it's that you posted before the feelings settled. That's why one rule is so powerful: the 24-hour buffer rule. When you're emotional, wait 24 hours. If you still want to share after you sleep on it, then decide calmly. Most of the time, you won't even want to post it anymore. Here's the biggest hidden cost of oversharing. People can take you less seriously. Not always to your face, but in how they choose to treat you. Oversharing can also damage trust, because people may think if they tell everyone everything, they might tell my business too. So they keep distance. And there's another risk. If you share your weakest moments too quickly, some people may use that information later, especially during conflict. Not everyone is cruel, but you don't want to give sensitive material to the wrong person. And finally, the emotional cycle. Oversharers often feel relief in the moment, then shame later. They go home and think, "Why did I say that? Why did I open up like that?" That shame can increase anxiety, and strangely, it can trigger even more oversharing the next time. So we need a better method. Here's what works. First, the pause. When you feel the urge to share like it's rising in your chest, take one slow breath. 10 seconds is enough. Then ask, what is my intention right now? Am I trying to bond, or am I acting from habit? Do I actually need to say this? If the answer is no, delay it. If you can stay quiet for even 5 minutes, you regain control. Second, dose information to the relationship level. A phrase I love is, match the depth to the relationship. A therapist can hold your deepest trauma. A close trusted friend can hold a lot. A new colleague cannot. And to make it visual, use the onion model. Start with the outer layer: light topics, daily life, simple stories. As trust grows, you move inward: real struggles, values, personal challenges. And the core, the deepest layer, should be for very few people, usually 1 or 2. Third, The reciprocity rule. If the other person is sharing small things, and you share your deepest wounds, there's a mismatch. Go step by step, one step from them, one step from you. Don't jump 5 levels in one moment. And finally, create a small safe list. 1, 2, maybe 3 people you truly trust. If you need to share something deep, share it there. Outside of that list, be careful, not because you're cold, but because you respect your own privacy. Oversharing doesn't mean you're a bad person. It often means you feel lonely or unseen, or you're searching for a safe place. That's human, but this method usually creates the opposite of what you want. So practice boundaries gently. If this video helped, comment one word, pause, or comment onion if you want to use the onion model. Thank you for listening, my friend. Be kind to yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.